Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, if you look on our leaders today, it seems like everyone is interested in working with the ODM party. If you look at President William Ruto, he wished that ODM should back him. You look at Kalonzo Musyoka, his prayer is that at least ODM should remember him and support him. Gachagua is so much interested in having ODM with him on the one side. Talk of Eugene Amolo. Musalia Mudavadi wish that he's the one who's taking over and working with ODM going forward. So every side want to work with the ODM. But the question is, in their own wish, at what political status do they want to work with the ODM? From a position of strength or weakness? That is the big question. And it seems in the ODM party, there is one group that have decided that it should just be the government, and it's like they have already concluded that ODM is going to work with the government. And even including some bloggers have been hired for that task to make sure they are pushing for that agenda. So, today, Otiende Amolo, the Radiant Member of Parliament, was on a Spice film. And he was giving his views as far as the ground on which ODM should engage anyone going forward. It should at first place remain strong, and secondly, it should remain independent as a party first. Strong, independent. Then, when you go to those negotiations ahead of 2027, it should be a structured negotiation. But they have come in when they are strong. Be clear on gains and bargaining points. Then they can go into coalition with whichever side. Ikuwe ni Azimio, broad based wabaki huko, ama warudi huko kwingine.
ODM. In fact, for ODM to be useful even to the president or UDA, ODM itself must be strong independently as a party. Then my understanding is that when it comes to 2027, if President Ruto still desires the support of ODM, then we must enter a structured negotiation again. We must be very clear that if we are to support UDA, what are the gains? What are the bargaining points? And we cannot do that if we are strong, if we are not strong. We cannot do that if we allow ourselves to be swallowed into UDA for now. And that is why, irrespective of what anyone says, we must remain strong and independent as a party first. Then we can have a strong bargaining and negotiation position. Otherwise, we would have been swallowed into UDA and there would be no interest in negotiating anything with ODM. And that is why my understanding is that the president could only be talking about the broad-based. The president, what the president needs to do is to maintain non-interference with the ODM as a party. That is what would be helpful.
Now, you have listened to Otiende Amolo, and his advice is actually the best for ODM. But the question is, how does those interested so much with working together with the ODM take this? Are they for that or for different views? there is something I want to expose here about our politicians and the future of ODM in their own wish. But before we go in that discussion, I have a quick and humble request. For those who are watching this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to our discussion. Now, as I said in the beginning, all of these politicians want to work with the ODM party. And it is very clear the spirit of Raila Odinga still exists. And everyone wants to associate with his political party going forward. That is the reason why you saw Kalonzo Musyoka taking a herd of cattle to Kango Kajaramogi. Eugene Amolo did the same. It is not because of the love of Raila Odinga, it is because of their own political interest. We saw William Ruto. He is still all over, like he is in charge of everything to do with making sure that Raila Odinga Barrow is taken care of and everything, and being close to the family. Gachagua is even preparing to go and visit Kango Kajaramogi with a good head of cattle and goats. He's preparing. Not because he loved Baba. It is because he just wants to associate with the spirit of Raila Odinga and try having some good relational friendship with the ODM party. Everyone wishes to work with ODM. But the hidden agenda is this. They would want to work with the ODM party at a position of weakness, but not strength. Especially President William Ruto. He would want to go in with ODM in 2027, but from a position of weakness. Wasikuja wakiwa wabunge wengi hivyo, like wako 85 I think. Wasikuja wakiwa hivyo, era too much. Wasikuje wakiwa na MCA wengi hivyo. Wasikuja wakiwa na governor wengi hivyo, or senators. Wakuja wakiwa a sizable number, labda wabunge kama 20 tu ama 30 kama ni wengi. Then the rest to struggle that UDA to penetrate and have positions there. At that point of weakness, there's not much you can argue in that structured negotiations and demand for too much. You cannot. But when you are coming the way they are right now, before the split happens, they will be demanding maybe a half of that government. Because they are coming in with their numbers. Ruto does not want that. Gachagua already has negotiated for a half of the government in case he supports Kalonzo Musyoka. A half, Mount Kenya. Now you bring in ODM. They want to work with ODM, but at what strength? When they are weak, so that Gachagua remains with his half of the government, in as much he will not be a president. But when ODM comes in, when they are strong, it gives them a headache. Wanaenda kunegotiate aje. Again, lazima waanza upya. That half will not exist. You don't want that. Kalonzo's same. When they come and they are very strong, they will demand to have the presidential candidate. Kalonzo akwe running mate. That is what these politicians are looking for. So it is upon ODM to understand that kila mtu sasa anaangalia tu hivi, anataka kuangukia ODM, kuimaliza, alafu afanye kazi na hao akitumia jina la mheshimiwa the late Raila Amolo Odinga. If they are not careful, I see them walking straight to this trap. And that is how they are going to bury ODM into a political oblivion. It might just remain a shell, the same way we have KANU a shell. The same way we have Ford Kenya that was very strong, nowadays a shell. It is going to depend on them. The sad thing is that some have been bought. They dismiss everyone. Like what Otiende Amolo is talking about, it's serious matter that should be taken care of. But people like Alai, they will dismiss him immediately because they have command on social media. They are good bloggers, despite being an MCA. How can a turn listen to senior counsel Otiende Amolo? Tell me how Opio and I, John Bandi, will be listening to Otiende Amolo when in their own mind they seem to have decided just to secure their daily bread. I don't know your views, but please let us meet in the comment section so that we can continue with our punchline discussion. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to me up to this far, and see you in our next video.